Let's try a little thought experiment. Imagine a world without your wallet. No cash, no credit cards, no crypto, nothing. How would you buy, well, anything? This isn't science fiction. For most of human history, this was just reality. Today, we're diving into the world's very first economic system, and we're going to uncover the huge flaws that forced us to invent something better.
It's a really tricky question when you stop and think about it, isn't it? I mean, if you're a web developer or a musician, how do you directly trade your skills for a week's worth of groceries? This exact problem, this basic need to exchange what we have for what we need, is pretty much where the entire field of economics began. So it all started with specialization. See, as early societies got bigger, people stopped trying to do everything themselves. Instead, they focused on what they were good at. This division of labor made everyone way more productive, but it also created a totally new problem. Suddenly, everyone depended on everyone else. And this little chain of needs really lays out the problem perfectly. The potter, she's amazing at making pots, but you can't eat pots, right? So she needs the farmer. The farmer, well, he can't plow a field with his bare hands, so he needs the blacksmith for tools. And the blacksmith, he needs clothes from the weaver. All of a sudden, you've got this whole web of people needing each other, and specialization becomes completely impossible without some way to trade all these things around. So, faced with this puzzle, what's the most obvious, the most intuitive solution? A direct swap, a simple trade. This straightforward idea is the world's oldest economic system, barter.
Yeah, the definition is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. I have something you want, you have something I want, so we just trade. That's it. No middleman, no abstract concept of money, just a straight-up swap. In theory, it's the purest form of commerce you can imagine.
And this idea is ancient. We're talking thousands of years ago, with Mesopotamian tribes, and later with the Phoenicians building huge trade networks across the sea. But here's the interesting thing. Barter isn't just some dusty relic of the past. It actually pops back up whenever traditional money fails, like it did for so many people during the Great Depression. In a perfect world, barter is just beautiful. It's so simple. Our farmer has extra wheat and needs new shoes. The shoemaker has a bunch of extra shoes and, what do you know, he happens to be hungry for some wheat. Boom, it's a perfect match. They agree on a fair trade, and everybody walks away happy. But that perfect world, it really depends on a perfect alignment of wants. So what happens when the shoemaker says, nah, I don't need any wheat today? This is precisely where this simple system starts to show some massive cracks. The truth is, while bartering might kind of work in a tiny, close-knit village, it becomes a total mess as an economy gets more complex. It's held back by 5 huge, fundamental flaws that really put a limit on economic growth.
And the very first flaw, well, it's the biggest hurdle of them all.
It's called the double coincidence of wants. Now that sounds a little academic, but the idea is actually super simple. For a direct trade to happen, I must have what you want, and you must have what I want at the exact same time. Both sides of the want have to line up perfectly. Okay, let's go back to our example. The farmer still wants shoes. But this time, the shoemaker looks at the wheat and just says, sorry, I'm all stocked up. What I really need is a hammer. And just like that, the simple trade is dead in the water. The whole chain of commerce is broken. So this creates this huge headache for the farmer. He can't just be a farmer anymore. He has to become a professional searcher. He needs to find a blacksmith who, fingers crossed, wants wheat. If he finds one, he trades his wheat for a hammer he doesn't even need. Then he has to go all the way back to the shoemaker to finally trade that hammer for the shoes he wanted in the first place. The amount of wasted time and energy here is just staggering. And this brings us right to the second big problem. Even if you solve that coincidence issue, how do you know if a trade is fair? In a barter system, there's no standard ruler for value. Is a bushel of wheat worth 1 pot or 2? How many chickens is a cow worth? Every single trade becomes this long, complicated negotiation. I mean, just look at this chart. It's pure chaos. A single cow is worth 100 bushels of wheat, or 10 pairs of shoes, or 50 pots. You'd have to keep this insane, tangled web of exchange rates in your head for every single item in the economy. It makes fair pricing nearly impossible, and it's a huge barrier to trade. And the problems just keep piling up. You've got indivisibility. I mean, good luck trading a small piece of your live cow when all you need is a loaf of bread. Then there's the problem of storing your wealth. Your grain can spoil, your animals can die. And forget about loans or contracts. A promise to pay someone back in 10 chickens next year is pretty meaningless if half of them get sick. Credit and investment, the things that really drive growth, become almost impossible. So all of these problems basically put a hard ceiling on economic growth. To break through, humanity needed a new social technology, a revolutionary tool designed specifically to fix all the limitations of barter. And that tool, of course, was money. But the most important thing to get here is that money isn't defined by what it's made of. It can be anything: seashells, salt, metal coins, little bits of data, as long as it reliably performs a few key functions that make our economic lives radically more efficient. So now we're going to look at the three main jobs or functions of money, and you'll see how each one is a direct, really elegant solution to the absolute mess we just saw with the barter system. First, and this is the absolute game changer, money acts as a medium of exchange. This completely demolishes the double coincidence of wants problem. The farmer no longer needs to find a shoemaker who wants wheat. Nope. He can sell his wheat to anyone for money because he knows that everybody will accept it. Then he just takes that money to the shoemaker and buys the shoes. It brilliantly separates the act of selling from the act of buying, which just unleashes the power of the market. Second, money serves as a unit of account. Think of it like a common language, a universal yardstick we can use to measure and compare the value of everything. Instead of pricing things in terms of everything else, we can price it all in one thing: money. This simplifies trade beyond belief. Remember that chaotic table of barter values? Now look at this. So clean, so simple and easy to understand. A cow is $500. Shoes are $50. You instantly know a cow is worth 10 pairs of shoes. This clarity makes fair pricing, accounting, and just making smart economic decisions possible for everyone. And finally, good money acts as a store of value. Unlike grain that spoils or cattle that die, money is durable. It allows you to convert your work into a form of economic energy that you can save today and spend tomorrow or next month or next year. This ability to save is the absolute foundation for all long-term planning, investment, and building wealth.
So, you see, money wasn't just an invention. It was a technology that solved the deep, structural problems of barter and really unlocked human potential. And this leaves us with a really fascinating question for our time. In an increasingly digital and global world, what are the new economic problems we're facing? And what will the next evolution of money look like to solve them? Will it be crypto or digital currencies from central banks, or something we haven't even imagined yet? The story of money is far from over.